Hey everyone, Tom here with another presentation to you. This is number 4 in our series of elements or principles of design. This is balance, and balance refers to the elements of art, meaning line, shape, color, space, form, texture, how they relate to each other within the composition in terms of their visual weight to create a sense of equality or equilibrium. In other words, does one side feel heavier than the other? In three-dimensional space, balance is dictated by gravity. So, if it has to be anchored down in some way, if it can't stand up on its own, it's not quite balanced. I don't know if you remember, not that long ago, on social media, the balancing of the broom. That was kind of a fun thing, and anyway, that's the idea. So in visual art, we have the concept of the fulcrum, or the fulcrum, where you have a board that teeters back and forth. What is visually balanced, what is not, becomes the question as you try to work that out. Humans, perhaps because of we are so bilaterally symmetrical, we have a desire to seek balance and equilibrium. Artists generally strive to create artwork that is balanced work in which the visual weight is distributed evenly across the composition. It feels stable, makes the viewer feel comfortable, and is generally pleasing to the eye. Work that is unbalanced appears unstable, creates tension, and makes the viewer uneasy. Sometimes the artist deliberately creates a work that is unbalanced. Let me go back to that. So here, even in designing this page, text here, image here, balance in the middle. Yeah, I was even seeking for balance in this image as I made it. So here we have the Ghent altarpiece by the Dutch artist Jan van Eyck. From back in, let's see, I think the 1500s or late 1400s. And everything about this piece is meant to communicate balance and symmetry. And sometimes the word harmony is used interchangeably there as well. This is an artist's effort to communicate the sense of heaven and perfection of God as best they can. This was an important Renaissance concept in the arts, and the artist seeks to display this not only in the painted figures, but also in the size of each panel. So there's a sameness and a likeness from one element to the next. Even the way that they're facing, so everything is centered here, which is the Christ figure. And everything here points to this central event right here. Very balanced. Okay. There are different types of balance. There's basically 3 that the experts talk about. Symmetrical balance, radial balance, and asymmetrical balance. And so I don't talk too much further about radial balance, but I talk a bit about symmetrical and asymmetrical. So let's get into that. So in this oil painting here, what makes this painting of this rural farm scene feel balanced? What is it about it that feels like it's not going to tip over? Okay, there is kind of a fulcrum-like effect going on here, where shapes are sitting in proximity to others, and so give that some thought and see what you come up with for an answer. Here in this oil painting, balance is a little harder to discuss. But we have discussed in previous slides how balance does apply. What kind of balance do you think would apply here? How can we resolve the idea with regard to this image? It's not perfectly symmetrical, but still there's a sense of weights going on there that helps it to feel balanced. And then lastly, we've talked about asymmetrical symmetry briefly, and here we have it happening in this painting. You know, I think I'm going to go ahead and answer it. I know I'm asking it of you, but let's go ahead and discuss it here. And I'll basically answer my own question. So I have this distant, far edge of the landscape horizon where things are happening. We have trees, we have buildings, power lines, okay. Then we have the distant hills. And then we have the middle ground coming into the foreground fields. And then we have this very prominent fence post. In fact, it could be called the focal point. But it's off center, it's off to one side, it's kind of low in the picture plane. What could balance it? Well, for me, in doing the painting, the answer was this right here. This building, the structure, these trees, even this pole, all help to counterbalance what's going on right here. These other elements, they become supporting characters. Talked about supporting characters in the past. But those are the thoughts that I was having as I did this particular painting. So there, I answered my own question. But you're welcome to write down your thoughts about it as well, especially as you're preparing for exams that we have coming up. All right, thanks for listening. Take care.